Good evening, or morning, or afternoon, or whatever time may be, whatever time of the day it may be for you, everybody. And welcome back to Backloggery. I haven't done one of these in a while. I think the last time was like more than a month ago. And I don't know, I've just kind of been slacking on this, but I felt like doing one of these. As I mentioned on yesterday's Sly Cooper stream, I still haven't really fully set up for the next game that I want to stream yet, after Black Mesa. So I figured we might as well go ahead and do this. Take care of one of this, and by the time hopefully by next week I'll have everything ready for that next game that I'll be streaming. For now, we're just gonna do some of this. And I have actually added a couple of games to my collection since the last time I streamed it. I streamed Backloggery, but only one of those comes before the letter B, which is where we last were. As you can see here, Bioshock Infinite was the last thing we added. So let me see. Let me pull up my what is it? There it is. I do have my Steam window pulled up. We are still going to be working on the Steam, what's the name of this thing? What am I trying to say? The Steam, like, library, basically. But, okay, let me just go ahead and, actually, I'm going to move this YouTube chat window to the side so I can look at it a little bit better. And actually, speaking of chat, let me test out all the chats, make sure that they work properly. Twitch chat, there you are. And then YouTube chat. Come on. Chat, there you are. Okay, let's wait for that to come up. Any minute now. Come on, there it is. Okay. Tonight's, what's the name of them? Tonight's, or not tonight, today's ambient sounds is swamp sounds at night. It is noon over here, so it is the opposite of night. But this is what we'll be using for the time being. Frogs, crickets, light rainforest, nature sounds, 3 hours. The stream will be about 2 hours, so it won't be a problem. Again, by the Guild of Ambience. I freaking love this, guys, when it comes to any ambience therapy and not therapy, but just sounds. And okay, let's just go ahead and get started. So the first thing that we need to do again is I need to go back and add one game that I did not have the last time we streamed here in the A category, and that is actually at the very, very top, somewhere around there it is. Action Taimanin. So for anyone who doesn't know about the Taimanin series, it's a hentai series. Probably one of the most prolific hentai series there is, if not the most prolific one, or like, you know, influential, widely known. And there is, in fact, this is a mobile game that was also ported to PC, and it is, well, as the name Action would imply, it is an action game. And despite being from the Taimanin series, it actually does not have explicit imagery on it, which is quite strange, but at the same time understandable because laws. Basically, game dev laws in Japan and China and all of those places, and probably here in the West as well, do not allow developers to show actual pornography, basically, on games that are not like that basically are released to like a wider audience. Or I'm not sure exactly what the actual laws restrictions are, but basically they can't actually put the good stuff in here. However, it's still obviously filled with fan service, as you would expect from a Taimanin game, and it's fun. I played it for a little bit, just to get the hang of it, and obviously it's a mobile game first and foremost, so it's filled with gacha mechanics and microtransactions and pulls or whatever they're called. I don't do gacha. I've made this abundantly clear. Even the only reason I had any interest in like Genshin Impact is because it wasn't like so blatantly gacha. But again, Taimanin I have a little bit of a thing for time. And in near future Shinobi Battle. That's also the subtitle. It's not actually here on the game window, but that's okay. I don't have too much to say about the game itself. Basically, again, it's a timeline game, and I do appreciate that it's not a visual novel. Because, you see, when you think of the word eroge, which is basically the Japanese shortening of erotic game, usually, most of the time, you think of a visual novel, right? Like, that's the standard, basic, most expected, kind of, eroge that there is. But obviously, erotic game just means that it's a game that has erotic things on it. And anything, as long as it fills that category, could be an eroge. And this is a good example of something that I would like to see much more of in the future. Eroges that are just, you know, first and foremost good games on their own right. And then afterwards, you know, also provide the erotic nature of them. But we don't see that very often. Again, probably because of those aforementioned laws in Japan, and it's obviously not like it's Japan the only one that's making this kinds of games, but it is definitely one of the main providers, if not the main provider for this stuff. But I like that this is a direction that they're taking. Hopefully, we'll see more of. I'd like to see more of this in the future. I'd like to see eroges that are actually like, you know, an RPG that has like a good, decent combat system, an exploration, and a story, and it also just happens to have erotic bits, or like a collectathon platformer where like you do fetch quests and missions and stuff, and like your reward is erotic sections or something like that. There's a lot more that can be done with this genre that's just not being explored because of those laws basically those laws prevent a lot of budget from going into these games, because you know you wouldn't spend a lot of money on a game that can't be sold to a wide audience. So that's the logic there. But hopefully, maybe at some point in the future, we'll see a difference. I don't know. I'd like to see a difference. Whatever's the case, I think that's all the talking that I really needed to do here. So let's go ahead and switch back to the browser. We're going to add add a game. Action timing in. I'm not going to put the subtitle of Next Generation Shinobi Battle or whatever it's called. It's just there. This is usually what the game is referred to as anyways. So we're gonna leave it right there. Steam, this is technically null because it's a gacha game, so they don't really end. So yeah, we're just gonna leave it like that. Progress note, it's a gacha game. So it can't really be fit. At least as far as I understand. It's probably got like story chapters, but even then, I don't know. These games are again designed to not really end properly. I'm not really gonna give it a rating because I've only played it for about an hour, half of which was messing around in menus and trying to get the controller to work, which didn't happen, so I had to switch to mouse and keyboard. But yes. Hey, Gamers Going Blind, how you doing? Best progress note indeed. This is just the nature of what we're doing here. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and add that, and I believe that is the only game that I needed to go back and add because it was after the letter B. So let's switch back over to our Steam window, and that has been added. So now we can go back to, well, we were on BioShock Infinite right here. So the next game, well, technically that starts with an A, but whatever, it doesn't matter. A Bird Story. I know this is by the same developer as To the Moon, which is a very what's a good way of putting it? It's an RPG Maker game that has a very deep story, which made a lot of people cry. It's even getting like an anime adaptation or something. To the Moon is not a bird story, and I don't know if this is like a prequel to it. It might be. I'm not entirely sure. Sounds about right. Nice Backloggery. I love that. So yeah, Backloggery is great. I love. I've been using the site for many years, but I went ahead and made a new account for the sake of what's the name of it? For the sake of making this series of streams, which is great. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and add that though. Let's see, browser, pull that up. And a bird story. That's gonna appear probably on the A here on Backloggery, but that's okay. Yeah, I don't really have too much to say about bird story. I've not actually played To the Moon, but I have seen a full playthrough of To the Moon, which, you know, considering it is a story-driven game, then that's I basically got the experience secondhand already, so it doesn't really matter too much with that one. But with a bird story, I haven't played it yet or seen anyone play it. So maybe that one I should do a blind playthrough for. Okay, so that is unfinished and unplayed. Another game by the To the Moon people have yet to experience. I guess. Yeah, according to mine, I've used it since 2015. Okay, that's a good number of reasons. I've used my old account. I don't know how long I had been using that one for? Probably about the same amount of times. 2015-ish, more or less. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, anyways, there's a bird story. Let's switch back over to Backloggery. To Steam. Next we have Black Desert Online. Since when do I have that? Since when do I have Black Desert Online? I didn't know I had Black Desert Online. Okay. Well, there you go. I have one of the more popular MMOs in the market, and I didn't even know. Now, I don't know if this is actually free or if it uses a subscription-based service. Doesn't really. I don't intend on playing Black Desert, but you know, just hover over the hourglass and it should say, yeah, this older account here, it's probably only a couple months old. Let me check specifically how much. Yeah, this one we've been using since January. My old account, probably since 2015. Okay, but anyways, yeah, the why do I have that game is my favorite. Yeah, it's just so much stuff that finds its way into your Steam library without you even knowing. Okay, well, I guess we'll add it anyways. Black Desert Online Remastered. How do you spell that anyways? It doesn't even say remaster here on Steam, but it does say remastered over there, so I guess I'm just gonna leave it as Black Desert Online. I don't even know that game needed to be remastered anyways. Wasn't it already like pretty enough? I don't know. Alright, whatever. Unplayed. I didn't even know. No, I had to. You know, I actually just had this exact same phenomenon happening like a little bit before starting the stream, because a little bit before starting the stream, I went ahead and bought the Humble Bundle Bandai Namco bundle. Best of Bandai Namco bundle. The one that's currently up. Because it's got a lot of games that I was interested in. Tales of Cesteria, Tales of Berseria, Code Vein, and Little Nightmares. And you know, I was excited to get Little Nightmares. And then when I tried to add it to my Steam library, it said, you already have this game. And I'm like, what? Since when? And I went to check, and yeah, I apparently have Little Nightmares. I apparently had it for years, at least, and like, okay. I didn't know. But now I know. Alright. Anyways, everything else in that bundle I did add to my collection. So that's cool. Okay. Let's... Oh, I didn't even switch to the browser for that. I keep forgetting to actually switch this stuff. But let's check out our Steam collection real quick. So you still need to get that bundle. You've got at least like 10 days for it, so you'll be fine. You'll get plenty of time. Oh, there it is. I didn't even know I had this. So that's cool. I've only got a couple of beaten games here on Steam so far. It's not looking very good. Also, where's all of my A games? I know I have more... Wait, hold on. Did I? I did not add them to my, like, PS3 collection, did I? No. What happened to my... Wait. No, I definitely have a bunch of A games. What happened to those? Did I just add them to, like, PC instead of Steam? Hold on, what's going on here? I think I messed up. Hold on, I might have messed up. Where are they? They're not on PS3. Are they on PC? Yeah, they're okay. They're on PC. I was adding this stuff to PC. Apparently. Okay. I guess that works. Maybe. But I kind of like the idea of them being on Steam better now that I look back on it. So we're just gonna like edit this stuff real quick. Steam instead. Does that save on the... No, it doesn't. Okay. Anyways. Just gonna give me a second here while I take care of all this stuff. Alright, but how you guys doing today? Hope you guys are having a great day, great time. I was going to... I realized that trying to start streams at 11 AM is a little challenging for me because I keep oversleeping. My my sleep schedule does not fit with what I try to do most of the time for these streams, but that's okay. I guess I don't know. Maybe if I stop going to bed at like 1 AM, we won't have this problem anymore. But I don't know. I always try to go to bed at like maybe 12-ish, and then I won't actually fall asleep until 1 AM at the earliest. So I can only really go to sleep earlier than that if I have to wake up really early the next day. So when I have to work at like early in the morning, and when that happens, whatever, it's just how it is. But maybe someday I'll look into like actually fixing my sleep schedule more consistently. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be in this little limbo of waking up too early or too late. Not too early. Waking up too late for my streams forever. But I mean, that's okay. It's only an hour after the ideal starting time. Okay. Anyways, let's see. Let me get some water while we're here. Had some breakfast before starting this as well. That's my usual routine when on my streaming days. I just I get up, I have some breakfast, I take a shower, I have some breakfast, and then at some point in the middle of all that, I'll go ahead and make like the thumbnail for the new stream and set it all up on Steam and YouTube and stuff. And today I forgot to set it up all properly before starting. So that's why I started the stream a little bit late. I had to, because I set up the stream for Twitch and YouTube, but I forgot to also set it up for Restream so that it'll actually stream to both platforms without making a new thing, which has happened before, and I had to learn that the hard way. But that's fine. I also had to send out all of my Discord notifications, which sometimes I don't know if Discord actually gives me that much of an advantage in terms of viewership, but it's nice to do. Maybe a couple of people will figure it out. Okay, now let's see. I went back through all of these games over here, and I realized there's a lot of stuff that I really gotta play on my own. Because what I did yesterday, I finished Tak and the Power of Juju. I think I mentioned that game the other day. And by the other day, I mean yesterday on stream when I was playing Sly Cooper. And today I'm mentioning it again because I finished it last night. And it was pretty cool, it was fun. It's a game that I actually tried to play once a couple of years ago. Yeah, like honestly like two years ago or so on maybe PS2 or GameCube. I'm not entirely sure. I got about halfway through the game ish, more or less, maybe less than that actually, and I just kind of got bored of it, so I gave up. But this time I played the game a little bit differently. So I played the game deaf. I did a deaf playthrough, which is essentially to play the game without sound. And I did that so that I could watch other people's streams while playing the game. And that actually made the experience a little bit better, despite what you might believe. It made the game less frustrating. It made the game... You know, it gave me more patience with the game because I wasn't focusing entirely on the game by itself. Hey, Sheppy Sheps, how are you? You're pretty much on time. We've only been live for about 25 minutes, and I realized that I've been adding a lot of all my games in the PC category instead of the Steam category, which I feel like there's enough games on my PC that are not on Steam for me to give that its own category. But you know, whatever. We'll figure that out when we get to it. I'm just fixing that for now. But yeah, I was mentioning how last night I finished, what's the name of it? Attacking the Power of Juju. Did a deaf playthrough, which is, again, basically without sound. And yeah, it was pretty cool. It was actually nice to do that while enjoying other people's streams. Now, Attack itself is a fine enough game. The first time I was a little harsh on it because it just, I don't know, I just wasn't enjoying it enough, but this time I was I was more patient with it, and I could see the virtues on that game. It's a puzzle 3D platformer. It's not a, it's more on the lines of, like, say, I'm not sure what other good examples I can give off the top of my head, but basically it's a game more focused on solving puzzles than it is on, like, exploration or mobility like Mario is stuff. Okay. And let's see. I did play it on GameCube, and by GameCube I mean on Dolphin. But I did previously own the game on Dolphin anyway, so... not on Dolphin, on GameCube. Or it might have been PS2. Whatever the point is, I did... at one point own the game regularly. Then now you just bought it on Steam. I mean on Dolphin. And that's cool. I think that's fine. Alright. By the way, Sheppy Sheps, the only changes that have happened to my stream setup since the last time you were here, not counting yesterday when you came into the stream pretty much at the very end, I got a new phone. And the new phone has a slightly better camera than my previous phone. So, ideally, the face tracking should be a little bit better. I think it is. I think it's actually capturing my eyes and my mouth movement a little more accurately than it was before. Not by a long shot. I mean, it's still not like a high-definition camera or anything. But it does look a little bit better. That, and also I fixed a typo on the katakana spelling of my YouTube channel's name. So before I just had it as Horo, and it's come to my attention thanks to the game Hollow Knight that in Japanese katakana is written as Horo. You have to hold the O a little bit longer. So I fixed that, and now we're good. Excellent. Okay, you know who loves the tax games? Night Paradox. Not familiar with them. Is that a VTuber or just a general person? I do know that Gulo Aswang, well, actually they go by Dogmeat now, but they like the tech games, so I should hit them up one of these days. Hey, I played the game with the indigenous fella. It was all right. Okay. The tracking looks very good, thank you. And a bit better on my data than Twitch. Okay, so yeah, YouTube definitely helps some people with connection. It's like even with Aiken Labs, I feel before has had a thing with what am I trying to say? Yeah, but you know, my mod Akinlabs has sometimes had better luck with the YouTube app than he has with Twitch. But you know. Internet trouble. Yeah, she's a V. Okay, yeah. Night Paradox is a VTuber. Catch. I'll have to look at them. Let's check them out. See what they're all about. She's a VTuber or watching on the go. Yeah, it feels like the YouTube app also. Yeah, the YouTube app more than the website can sometimes work a little bit better. Okay, is there anything on PC anymore? Nope, there's nothing else on PC. Okay, we fixed that. Now the Steam library should look a lot more robust. Yes. It's driving me insane that Condemned Criminal Origins is here and not on, you know, even though it's not the next game on the list. But you know what? That's okay. That's fine. We're gonna go back over here. We've got 139 games total, of which the majority, 50% of it, 50.7% of it is unbeaten. We've gotta fix that one day. Okay. Now we can go back to this. And we were on Black Desert. Okay, Black Mesa, there we go. We just finished that a couple of weeks ago. And by a couple of weeks, I mean last week. Okay, Black Mesa. We're gonna go ahead and add that to the... No, not that one. This. Okay. There we go. At the very least, while I'm out and listening, I just took a look at mine and I'm at 1190. Ah, okay, 1,190 games. That is quite a number. I'll probably be close to that number though by the time we're done adding every game. Well, maybe not quite. That's still a lot of games. Okay, you may have a problem. Yeah, honestly, back when I was doing like every Humble Bundle, that's when I got a lot of my games. And I've also traded in a lot of games throughout my life because I just bought them on impulse. Didn't actually play them. And I deeply regret it now. I think Blade Kitten is... I've played Blade Kitten before. Let's go ahead and add Black Mesa first. And then we'll go ahead and add Blade Kitten. Black Mesa. That is on Steam. And now that is beaten. Not completed. I know there's achievements that I still have to do. And if I really wanted to, I could go back and finish that game on the hardest difficulty. I won't. Because normal difficulty was already stressful enough. But actually, we can check how many achievements we have. We have 10 out of 50. Okay. So, let me go ahead and put that... Actually, to go ahead and show it off. There it is. 10 out of 50. Says right there on the screen. Okay. 10 out of 50. Progress note. Finished. Finished on regular difficulty. On normal difficulty. Great remake of Half-Life, I'm assuming, because I haven't actually played the original Half-Life. Don't really intend on doing so anyway, but that's okay. And actually, it was a pretty good game. I'd give it like a 4 stars. Rather fun. And we're actually gonna go ahead and add something here. Library. I need to find, hold on, playlists. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and grab this playlist, and I guess I can just share. There we go. Go ahead and copy that playlist link, and we're gonna go ahead and add that here. Full playthrough over on my channel. And there we go. We just add that link. And now if anybody's checking to my Backloggery, they can see that for Black Mesa I have a full playthrough. We can just go boom. Be right there. Awesome. I'd like to do this with any game that I actually finish. Go to Backloggery and add that playlist to it. That will be quite nice. And you can see here now that on my Steam games, where are they? There they are. You go all the way down to Black Mesa, and you'll see this little thing here. So you just copy that link, and there you go. You've got a full playthrough of Black Mesa right there on your computer. Not downloaded, but like, you know, it's on YouTube. You can watch it whenever you want, at your own leisure. It's long. It's 11 episodes long. It's gonna take a minute to get through, but that's okay. Alright. Go ahead and add game, and we're going to go back to Steam, and the next game in line is Blackguards. I have no idea what that is. What are you? Huh? Okay. It's strategy game maybe? It looks, yeah, it's a hex based. Yeah, it's a hex based strategy game. Okay. I didn't know I had that. But actually, no, I do remember having Blackouts. I just didn't know what it was. So whatever. I guess we'll check it out one day. Maybe I don't know. Blackguards. Let's go ahead and add that to the collection. I have nothing to say about it because I don't know anything about it. Blackguards. I'm assuming you spell like that, just one word. Steam. There's some finish on plate. Hex-based strategy game. There we go. Excellent. No rating because I have no idea what it's all about. Okay, good. Now, the next game is Blade Kitten. That one I have actually finished. Not just finished, but like 100% it. Yeah, 20 out of 20 achievements. Some of those achievements were a pain in the ass to get, but I did it. I did the thing. It was done. It was done. There's some kid up playing in the. Why is that here? the Steam community is an interesting one. I'll tell you what. Okay, but yeah, it was all right. It wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be. Like, I remember playing it for the very first time as in the PS3 demo, way back when the game wasn't even out yet. Like, back when the demo came out before the game did, or I think the demo came out before the game did. And back then, I thought it was pretty cool. It was pretty fun. You know, you get to play as a cat girl, and cat girls are great. So I was like, yeah, that's great. Now, many years later, I played it on my own on Steam, and I was like, yeah, it's alright. It's alright, I guess. But it is made by the same developers as Ty, that was made in Tiger, Chrome Studios. And I've only played the first Ty game anyway, so it's not like I have a huge history with this company, but I am aware of them at least. So there you go. Blade Kitten. Go ahead and add that to the collection. Maybe if I'm really feeling up to it, we'll stream it one day. But it is definitely not in my priority list of streamable games. It's just pretty cool. It's just all right. Okay. Yeah, so how many achievements was 20 out of 20? Yeah, 20 out of 20 achievements. Okay. 100% tit. It was okay. We'll give it like a. We'll give it a 3. Like, I don't want to give it a 2, but if I could give it a 2.5, I would give it a 2.5. Basically. And I guess 2.5 is technically closer to 3 than it is to 2. By the order of what's the name of them? Of approximation. Just barely, but it is. Okay. Whatever. Blade Kitten. What is next game in line? It is Blade Symphony. Okay. That's there's so many games in this collection that I have no idea about. What is this? What's that? What's that other thing? Okay, I guess it's like a PvP. Is it even a PvP? Well, what's this? Oh, let's see. That's a gun. Oh, that's a mod. Okay. I guess it's like a PvP game where you fight with sorts, and that's like the whole point. I mean, it looks like it could be fun. It's just, I don't know what to tell you. Alright, we'll have to check this out one day, because it does look like it could be a fun time. Apparently I have played it for 10 minutes. I think I do remember something about it. But not much. Alright, whatever. We'll go ahead and add it to the collection. Blade Symphony. Symphony. Is that how you spell symphony? That is how you spell symphony. Okay. Let's see. Okay. That's on Steam, that is unfinished and on plate, pretty much. I don't know what kind of progress notes to put about it, just notes in general. Yes. That is my first impressions of that game. You do the stabby. Okay. Excellent. What is next in line? That's Blades of Time. I don't have too much of a history with this one, but I am aware that okay, I think this is by a developer, a Russian developer that also made a game called X-Blades. I think that's what is going on. I might be completely wrong about that. But it's X-Blades I do have a bit of history with. That's a game that I played on PS3 back in the day. And it was horrible. Oh my god, X-Blades is terrible. It's one of the worst games I've ever played in my... It's so bad. But I played it. I finished it even. And despite having such a terrible impression of X-Blades, I still had interest in this Blades of Time thing. And again, I believe it is a game by... Let's just check real quick, actually, the store page. Hit me. Yeah, sure, that's my date of birth, why not? I was born January 1st. Of course, naturally. Gaijin Entertainment Corporation. No, it's not listing X-Blades. Maybe I'm getting my facts mixed up. But X-Blades is still definitely a thing that I'm like aware of. Wings of Prey, that I don't know what that is. It looks like a... Oh, this got some bad reviews. Okay. Dismissal Swamp. Apparently I have some DLC for this. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know it had DLC. Anyways, what's the user score on this? 85%. Let's see what people say about this. I'm like curious now. Aside from the game being a guilty pleasure, it is actually really fun. It looks quite good visually, has a really solid fighting system and a very unique rewind mechanic that keeps the gameplay interesting. In addition, the voice acting and dialogue is so bad it's legendary. Oh, it's got terrible voice acting. Oh, wow, I am in for it now. I love games with terrible voice acting. Okay, I'll keep my eye out on this one. I'll play it on my own and then I'll decide from that personal playthrough if the game is worth playing on stream. Okay, Blades of Time. There's a lot of games with the word blade or blades on it, as you would expect. Okay, there's an on plate. Maybe the reason I think it's from the X-Blade developers is because the protagonist of both games is a blonde girl with either twin tails or a ponytail that has like a skimpy battle bikini and dual wields blades. You can't tell me that there's not a little bit of overlap in that kind of protagonist, you know. So okay, whatever. There we go. Okay. No rating, because I haven't played it yet. I mean, I played it for like a little bit, but, you know, just to make sure, see how it was. But that's another story for another day. Okay. Next in line is Blast Blue Calamity Trigger. It's the only Blast Blue game I have. Blaze Blue, I don't know how you say it. I feel like Blaze is... I feel like in order for that to be Blaze, there would have to be an E at the end of Blast. But there is no E, so I just say Blast. Blast Blue. Calamity Trigger. It's the very first Blast Blue game, I know that much. Or Blaze... Should I say Blaze Blue? I don't know which pronunciation I like better or hate less. It's weird regardless. What's going on here? Okay, anyways, I don't have much to say about Blaze Blue. It's just, Blast Blue. It's just, it's a fighting game series, I know that. It's by the Guilty Gear people, like Arc System Works. I think I played the first one a little bit. I remember when the game came out, people were actually excited for it because it was, like, pretty good. Like, for the time, this was a very well received fighting game, but that was amongst the general public. I don't know if the more like professional fighting game community finds this game as good as the general public did back then. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. We'll find out. Nonetheless, Blaze Blue Calamity Trigger, Blast Blue Calamity. I don't really look. I'll decide on a pronunciation when the next time it comes up. Okay. But Steam. I don't really play fighting games for the competitive nature. Like, the only reason I would be interested in a fighting game is if it's got like an interesting story mode, like Dragon Ball Z Budokai games did back in the day. I never really played those games competitively. Like, I played with my friends a couple times. That was fun. But other than that, not really much of a competitive person. It's not my cup of tea. Okay. So, that's about all I can really say about this one. So we'll keep it like that. Okay, Blaze Blue Calamity Trigger has been added to the collection. And now we've got... well, okay. This is only Blood Omen 2. But I don't know if I should go ahead and jump to the rest of the Legacy of Kain stuff. Because this is only 1 out of 5 games in the Legacy of Kain series that I have. Actually, there's 6 games. And I do have that 6th one, but we don't really count that one for some reason. I don't know the story, but point is... Blood Omen 2, Legacy of Kain. Obviously there's a Blood Omen 1, and the Blood Omen 1 is the very first Legacy of Kain game, which I actually have on PlayStation 1 on the PlayStation 3, from the PlayStation 3 store. That one plays very differently from all of its sequels, because all of its sequels play like, you know, traditional action-adventure third-person games, whereas that very first one plays more like an old PC game. And I would like to think that that game was on PC, but I don't think it actually was. Let me check real quick. Was the very first Blood Omen on PC? Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. Let's see. Yeah, Crystal Dynamics is was thanked for the Microsoft Windows section. It's not section. Version. Okay, let me pull it up over here. So this is what the first game, the cover of the first game, and that was on PlayStation 1. And it came out first on PlayStation 1, November of 96, whereas the PC version came out almost a year later in 97. So I guess the game was, by all intents and purposes, designed as a PlayStation 1 game, even though it looks like a PC game. And there's Sim Templeman delivered his first performance to Kain. Okay, so is this still Kain? I know what he sounds like. Television, video games. So yeah, his Kain. This Simon Templeman is Kane, apparently has always been Kane. Alright. What's Slayer's role? File 76, voice someone, okay. Cool. There you go. We have found the Kane's voice actor. It's not like we were looking for him, but there he is. If you needed to know that for some reason. Okay, whatever. Blood Omen. I don't like that it's spelled Blood Omen 2 Legacy of Kain when the first game is also spelled like Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, because you know, I feel like, you know, if you're gonna have a 2 and followed by a subtitle, the subtitle should be different. The subtitle should be different from the first game's subtitle, but I guess not. They didn't feel that was necessary. So they still call this game Blood Omen 2 Legacy of Kain instead of calling it Blood Omen Legacy of Kain 2. But that doesn't make sense because the Soul Reaver games are called Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver and Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 2. You see, those did it right because they put the 2 at the very end, which is where it should be. But not with this one. This is giving me a fucking headache. Why are you named like this? Who did this? Who's responsible for this? Oh my god, it's gonna drive me up the wall. Okay, whatever. Look, it don't matter. It don't matter. I'm getting mad for nothing, as I always do. All right. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Add the game. And let me just make sure that I did add the first one. Yeah, it's the very first thing. Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. No, I don't want to confirm resubmission. Did I like erase it? Or something? No, I didn't erase it. Okay. Yeah, the mystery has been solved. Hey! Okay. We're now 146 games. That's pretty cool. We've been streaming for 50 minutes. Also, if you feel like the ambience noise could use a little bit more volume, let me know. I mean, it sounds good in my headphones, but I don't know if you guys can hear. Maybe you guys aren't using headphones and you can't hear it at all. I'm okay with raising it a little bit if it needs to be raised. Okay. Anyways. Okay, so Bloodrayne's a little bit interesting because not too long ago, like I want to say less than a year ago, or maybe about a year ago, they released the terminal cut versions of Bloodrayne 1 and 2. And you know, Vines has got copyright striked once for cricket noise. I am aware of that, actually. That did happen. Now, I feel like I have played this particular ambience noise before and I've been fine. I guess it's like the very stock-ish ambience noises. But yeah, even ambience noise is dangerous to play. So, but I don't want to have a completely silent stream because that's kind of boring. You know, you gotta have at least a little bit of stuff going on in the background. But if I do get a copyright or a DMCA for this set of background noises, then well, first of all, I'll be mad. But second, I'll like next time I'll like maybe I'll make my own background noises. Like I'll just do like, and then make like a 5-hour loop of that, or some. I'll make my own ASMR thing. Yeah, that'll be a fun thing to do. Okay, Bloodrayne. Yeah, so there was a terminal cut version because what's the name of it? The IP was given to somebody else, like a different company from the original developers, and they want to revive Bloodrayne, from what I recall seeing it. I mean, listen, I never played Bloodrayne when it came out. I tried to play the very first game for the very first time, like in 2019, and I almost couldn't because it required so much setup to get this thing to run properly. Ideally, this terminal cut fixes that, and you don't have to do that anymore. But then, you know, take a microphone outside and record your own cricket noises. I don't think we actually even have crickets around here. We have beetles. I mean, I'm sure there's some cricket somewhere, but I haven't heard a cricketer around my house. You know, we have beetles, a lot of squirrels. Maybe I can go out and record some squirrel noises. That would actually be quite fitting. I can't think of Bloodrayne without thinking of the web ball movies. I'm not familiar with the well ball movies, but I'll check it out when I get a chance. Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and add Bloodrayne. I played about like the first 2 levels of this. And then there was a bit where I got stuck. They are horrible video game movies. Ah, I see. Anyway, there was a bit that I got through and then I got stuck. And then I didn't want to play anymore. So, this says I have a collective total of 11 minutes. I know I have more than that because, I think the reason it's not counting the rest of it is because I was probably trying to play it on something else. Like through a mod that makes the game run properly. I highly recommend not watching them or watching them with friends and lots of beer. Fair enough. I don't drink, but maybe I can find a replacement for beer, like a bunk to the head to make me just lose it. Okay, let's see. It's got trading cards too. Does it have any achievements? It does not have achievements. Alright, well, there's somebody cosplaying Rain. I know that some people do genuinely like these games. It's not like... No, it's not like nobody cares. It's just, you know, when I tried playing it, I did not have a very good time with it. Those are some nice cosplays though, like... I guess Rain is just a very cosplayable character. Maybe? I'm not sure. She looks kind of funky here though, I don't know. I don't know, man. Alright, whatever. Well, I will give it a shot one day. Major update. Rain's the beauty game has gotten even better. This patch restores textures to the original console version appearance, adds Japanese as a playable language, and more. Okay, cool. Maybe I'll play it in Japanese just to learn a little bit more Japanese. That could be an adventure. Okay. So we'll add the terminal cut instead of the regular version. And I believe it's spelled Bloodrayne as one word. Yes? Yeah, Bloodrayne is just one word. Okay. Bloodrayne terminal cut. There you go. I'll put it as unfinished because again I did play a little bit of it of the original version, so I guess it does kind of count. But okay. Okay. There we go. That's about all I can really say to that. And I guess we'll add the same for Bloodrayne 2, because that's obviously the next game in line. Bloodrayne 2, which has this terminal cut right here. Bloodrayne 2 I only played for like... It says 17 minutes, but I guarantee you it was not a second more... Okay, this one says 11 minutes, but that's incorrect. I did play the game for at least an hour and a half, maybe. This one was actually just 17 minutes, and 17 minutes of that... Half of it was probably spent trying to get the game running properly, so we're just going to go ahead and pretend like that didn't happen. Weball is a producer that takes advantage of German creative grants, makes horrible movies and profits off investor money. He doesn't care if the movie doesn't do well, he already has his money. Oh. That sounds very sketchy. God. But I guess that's just the nature of these people. Is Bloodrayne still spelled with that 2 or... No, it's spelled with a regular 2. Okay. It is not a Roman numeral 2, it is a regular 2. Terminal cut. Alright. Now this one, yeah, this one's pretty much unplayed. That's about all I can say. You always hope that a sequel is better than the original. Sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it is. I don't know. It depends. Depends on how good the developers are at understanding what made the first game great and how they can improve on that. Okay, and the last Bloodrayne game that we need to add here is Bloodrayne Betrayal. That one did not get a terminal cut because that one actually just runs fine. This doesn't need like a remaster or anything. It's just a regular game. Now, I didn't like it. At first it was pretty cool. Like the first level or so was first like 2 levels were fun enough, but the game got very frustrating very quickly. By like pretty much by the time I reached like by the time I had finished like the second boss fight, I was already pretty much done with it, and then I got to a bit where that was just really frustrating. So I don't really see myself going back to this when I'm actually trying to finish it. It's got some very well made, very well drawn sprites. Like the art of the game is very good, but the gameplay just didn't do it for me. I could not tolerate some of the frustrating bits in that game. So whatever, we're just gonna go back over here and add that to the collection, and we'll be done with the Bloodrayne series, which is that, you know, it's got three games. It's actually made, Bloodrayne Betrayal is made by Way Forward, which is the which are the Shantae people. So that's like even more surprising because the Shantae people are pretty good. Way Forward is a talented developer. They know what they're doing, but they just didn't know what they were doing with that one, and that's so sad. So sad. I'm upset that I'm upset that Bloodrayne Betrayal is not as good as it should be, as I wish it was at least. Okay, but I'm not gonna let this as unplayed. It's just unfinished. If I go back and finish it one day, you know, whatever. Actually, I do have some achievements on it though. Let's see. I have 2 out of 12 achievements. One of those is apparently very rare. Defeat Crab Puncher without getting hit. The Funky Puncher. Or that Funky Puncher. Okay, whatever. It don't matter. Maybe that's why I got a little frustrated with it, because I tried to go for that achievement, and that was frustrating. Okay. I wish this game was better than it is. There we go. That's the best thing I can say about it. Okay. In there, and now that's it for the Bloodrayne stuff. Next in line is going to be Bloody Trapland. I really hope I got this from a Humble Bundle and I didn't actually go out of my way to buy it, because this is just a game that I saw like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye played like once or twice, and it was, hey, it looks alright. It's a frustrating, like one of those like unfair, frustrating 2D platformers where you can actually murderize friends by like jumping on them, Goomba stomping them, and there's a lot of gore, because of course there is. And I've only played like, it says I've played 0 minutes of it, so I haven't even tried it. I haven't even attempted this thing. Kind of looks like Super Meat Boy when you look at it from like this screenshot right here. Well, actually, this doesn't show up for you guys, but yeah, it's you know, it's just it's one of those typical like you know, frustrating 2D platformers, like. But you know, I don't want to compare it to Super Meat Boy, even though there is a comparison to be made there. No, yeah, okay, no, it's very similar to Super Meat Boy in its design. It's just not in its quality. That's very similar, but okay, but I don't want to say that it's terrible. It's just, it's one of those games that I bought because a YouTuber played it. That's what I'm trying to say. And I feel bad when I buy games just because of that. When it's like one of those YouTube games, which is there's very much a lot of those around. But whatever. Bloody Trapland. Steam, unplayed. One of those YouTube games. Okay. Whatever. We'll go ahead and put that in there. Go back over here. And the next game is the Blue Flamingo. This one I know for sure that I got from a Humble Bundle. I distinctly remember getting this from a Humble Bundle. It is a... I need to remember how loud that is and not do it directly in front of the microphone. God! It is a shmup. And what's interesting about this one is the art style. So it actually uses... I want to say like stop motion. I don't know why there's Samurai Champloo here, but I believe it uses stop motion. Like I don't want to say that that's 3D. I don't think that's 3D. I think that's an actual like set that the developers created to be the stage of the level, and they use you know, the plane is an actual like little toy plane that they put in there. And yeah, the art style is very unique. That's the best way I can describe it. Like, I guess yeah, it's really hard to see even from the screenshots over here, but I'd have to show it off for you guys to understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, see here, like right here, I think that's pictures of the set of like the of the crafting set that the developer made. The developers. I don't think it's one person. It's probably a couple people, but you know, they handcrafted the airplane and the enemies and the stages and all of that, and then put it all into a game, and it's got a very cool art style. Now I can't tell you anything about the gameplay. It's a shmup. That's all I can really say about it. But hey, hey, no, don't close that. I almost closed the browser window. No. Okay, the Blue Flamingo. Now I don't know why it's called the Blue Flamingo. Maybe that's the name of the ship. Probably. That's the best guess I can have. Okay. Okay, put that in there. No rating, haven't played it, unplayed. Okay, I really gotta find a game that I have more stuff to say about. But that is just the nature of this of your Steam library. There's so much stuff on your Steam library. Unless you're a controlled person that knows not to impulse buy everything in sight when there's a Steam sale going on, which it's probably not as many people as there should be. You know, your Steam library is probably going to look something like mine. It's just full of stuff that you don't even remember buying. Boy. Okay, this is a puzzle game? Question mark? Yeah, it looks like a puzzle game. Looks like you play as a little, like, amiibo thing. Maybe. Or like a nucleus. Something. 71% on the Boyd single player campaign. So there's multiplayer. That suggests that there is in fact a multiplayer for this. I mean, it's a puzzle game. I don't know what to tell you. Here's a burger. Is there if we didn't have a burger VTuber before, we have a burger VTuber now. There you go. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, it's very much just like a puzzle game. So that's all I can really say about that. Gonna go ahead and go back to the browser. And after this, I'm gonna check how many games we have so far and how terrible my my finished game ratio is. Probably very bad. Katie is in fact a burger VTuber. You know what? I didn't even think about that. I haven't watched old lady Katie in a while. I should stop by one of her streams one to say, "Hey, Jack Rabbit, how are you, Borger lad? Yeah, we got a Borger person here." Hey, every time I stretch, my VTuber studio thing breaks apart. That's just the nature of things. Hey, okay, but everyone needs a daily dose of happiness and kindness. Yes, absolutely. Okay, and a little bit of BAM. That's the best BAM I can do. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, unfinished and unplayed is a puzzle game. Alright, okay. There we go. I should clip that and send that to old lady Katie. She might enjoy that. I don't know. Maybe that picked the microphone. Don't maybe if it picked the microphone. Don't I don't know. Okay. There's Boyd. That's fine. We got it. Look, we got everything under control. Nothing bad's gonna happen. Now my compressor works very well. Okay, well, thank you, Streamlabs OBS, for having a functional compressor. I've got a pop filter too. Maybe that helps. The Book of Legends. What is this all about? Is this one of those like RPG maker games that just there? Yeah. It's an RPG maker game. Okay. Alright. Cool. There's probably a bunch of games on RPG Maker that you just don't you know, that are just kind of made with like the basic assets and the person's just trying to make a story with whatever they can. And I mean, that's not to say that any RPG Maker game is bad. And I have seen some very impressive stuff done with RPG Maker. I mean, for God's sake, Hylix was an RPG Maker game and Hylix was awesome. But you know, you can definitely, they do have a little bit of that scuff. Like, basically, kind of like how Unity, you know, you see some games made with Unity and you immediately think like, man, it's one of those Unity games. You know the kind. I feel like RPG Maker kind of has that same stigma to it. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a bad game. So maybe we'll give it a shot one day. The Book of Legends. Looks like a stock RPG Maker game. There we go. That's all I can say about that. Browser. We're going to close that. And actually, no, we're going to go turn that on because I forgot I was going to check my progress overall so far. So we got 153 games. This went from 50% to 54%. So that's great. That's awesome. I'm glad that happened. And my Steam library, look at that, 55 total. So as of right now, my Steam library is exactly the same as my PS3 library, with the difference being that 55 is my total PS3 games. Like every single PS3 game that I have, it makes a cumulative total of 55. Whereas my Steam library, we've got 55 when I'm still on the letter B. There we go. Thank you for clipping that, Sheppy Chefs. I'll make sure to send that to old lady Katie once we're done with the stream. Why is my model doing like the? Did you see that my model was just doing like the eyebrow raising thing? Also, my arm. Ow. My arm is trying to fall asleep and I'm trying to prevent that from happening. Did I sit on it? Have I been sitting on my hand for an hour and just did not realize? What is wrong with me? Okay. Alright. Fine. Sure. Whatever. I don't care. Okay. Whatever. Add a game. Next in line is Borderlands 2. No, actually, next in line is going to be Borderlands 1. I'm not going to put the second game first. But yeah, Borderlands Game of the Year Enhanced. Yeah, I have the Game of the Year edition and the original edition. I played 2.7 hours of this one, and then I played this one. And this one I actually finished. I did finish the original Borderlands. Now, I can say a few things about Borderlands. It is not a bad game. Absolutely not. It is a good game. But it is a game that was very much designed to be played with people. There were a lot of times in my playthrough of Borderlands 1 that I figured, man, I really wish I had somebody to play this with. there were so many missions that like just kind of overwhelm you with just throwing too many enemies at you. Automod, it's fine to say Automod, it is fine to say scumbag. I do not mind that word. I've probably said that word a couple times. But yeah, its company head is a scumbag. I would hate to work for. Yeah, what's his name again? Gearbox CEO. Gearbox CEO. What's I don't. Gearbox CEO. Randy Pitchford. Yeah, that's his fucking name. This dude. Hold on. Let me show this guy right here on stream. This motherfucker is a piece of shit. God, everyone. I've never heard a single good thing about this man. He is so bad. You know, like, he's the protagonist of many scandals, including that one time he put like very important company files in his USB drive where he also keeps porn, and he left that USB flash drive on like a medieval times seat or something like that. So they found that, and that's where like a bunch of very confidential information about the company got leaked. And amongst other things, just basically this, just don't care about this guy. Lollicorn legendly, the cheese pizza. Yeah, he might have had yeah, basically just terrible. He's still CEO, by the way. Despite all of the terrible shit that this man has been confirmed to be a part of, he still keeps the contains his CEO what's the name of it? Is his CEO status. So, you know, terrible person. Don't support him. But you know, whatever. I probably got the Borderlands games from a Humble Bundle, most likely, and you know, what is important to say is that the terrible status of the CEO should not be reflective of the rest of his company, of the people that actually made Borderlands into a reality. You know, all of the other. It seems to. I've never heard anything bad about anyone else that works in Gearbox. It's just the CEO is single-handedly so terrible, such a piece of shit, that it drags the entire company down. But no, the rest of Gearbox is alright. Yeah, those who made the game should be praised. Yeah, the actual developers of Borderlands, the people that worked their ass off day and night, weeks on months on probably years, they deserve all the praise. Borderlands 1, 2, and 3, and even the pre-sequel do have things to be loved about them. And again, the first game is no exception. It has a couple of things that I didn't like. Just even from like a brawler perspective, I feel like it's very fetch questy. Maybe fetch quest is not the right word. It's just like a game that what's a good way of putting it? You know what? Here's the best way I can explain Borderlands 1 to you. It feels like an MMO. It's not an MMO. It is not intended to be looked at as an MMO, I don't think. But it feels like an MMO. And part of that, you know, includes the whole thing of like, I don't know, the story didn't feel like it was told properly enough sometimes. Like, oftentimes I would find myself you know, reading through like the story dialogue, which is just a little text box that you get on your mission thing, and like I never really felt the story had a lot of impact. Not because the story itself was bad, it's just because the way it's portrayed wasn't very efficient. And that's something I can say about MMOs in general. Like the story, you know, due to a lack of cutscenes or just delivering the story in a much more efficient manner, the story will just kind of go over you. So, you know, by taking that out of the equation, by taking the story out of the enjoyment of the game, you're left with the gameplay. And because the gameplay feels like an MMO, and it feels like you're supposed to be playing it with somebody, and I didn't, if I ever go back to Borderlands, it's gonna be with somebody. I refuse to play this game again by myself. It's not a game designed to be played by yourself. You can, but you're not encouraged to do so. Okay, I think that's my 2 cents on Borderlands and what's Jim Sterling calls Randy Pitchford something else. Was it like Randy Bitchford? Shitford? Fuck, I don't know. Like, whatever insult you can think about Randy Pitchford, that's a good way of putting it. I mean, his name by itself just sounds kind of weird anyways. Okay, Borderlands Game of the Year Edition. Let's go ahead and add that to the... Before I get angry at Randy Pitchford's existence again, let's go ahead and add that in. Lands Game of the Year Edition. Okay, I have 35 out of 80 achievements. I saw that over there. And, this was designed to be played with friends, which I didn't do. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and give it a 3 stars. I don't want to give it 4. Maybe I would give it 4 if I was playing it with somebody, but I did not. So until then, did you know Jim actually interviewed him at one point? I think, yeah. I remember that. He did interview Randy Pitchford. Yeah, when he was working with Destructoid, and I remember that when he made an episode about him on the Jimquisition, like I want to say like 2 to 3 years ago, he had to point out that just how much Randy Pitchford's behavior affected Jim as a credible journalist, because it's like, wow, basically anyone who interacted with Randy Pitchford would have their reputation brought down, just like second-hand embarrassment, basically. That's what it is. It's like, even though you're not the one that's embarrassing yourself to everyone, just being in the presence of someone like that messes with your reputation. So, that was a thing. Now, Borderlands 2 should be the next in line. Now this one I do not have the Game of the Year edition for, so we're just going to go ahead and add the normal edition. But if I ever do play this one, I would like it to be the Game of the Year edition. But then again, that involves giving money to Randy Pitchford, so maybe I won't even get that. So we'll just go and leave it like that. Okay. Browser, go back over here. Borderlands 2. Steam, yep, that's fine. Unfinished and unplayed. I do hear that Borderlands 2 is better than Borderlands 1. In fact, Borderlands 2 is the one that I've heard the most praise for. Because when Borderlands 3 came out, people were like, yeah, it's alright. It's more Borderlands. You want more Borderlands? Then there you go. You have more Borderlands. I remember people saying that like Borderlands 2 had... Borderlands 3 was consistently more comedic, but Borderlands 2 was funnier when it wanted to really be funny. I'm gonna be honest with you, I found the comedy in Borderlands 1 kind of cringy. There were a lot of times that I didn't laugh, and I was just like, really? Yeah, it tries too hard at points. Yeah, it's so adamant on creating a cast of assholes, of just shitty people that you're not supposed to like, and they're all just like all raunchy and terrible and dislikable. That like, like, yeah, you successfully made me like none of these characters. Okay, was that really what you wanted? Is that really what the goal was here? To just make me not like anybody? Because you succeeded. At what cost? Okay, like how are you doing, fellow gamers kind of humor. Yeah, it's very much like that. Borderlands 2 is leaps and bounds better than 1. Okay, fair enough. I'll definitely have to give Borderlands 2 a shot. Then 1. Alright. And then the pre-sequel, Borderlands, the pre-sequel, I've also heard that it's basically just more Borderlands. If you want more Borderlands, and that's how you get more Borderlands. So the only one that I've really heard praise for is Borderlands 2 for actually like evolving the formula from the first game, whereas every other game after Borderlands 2 is just more Borderlands. Which is not a bad thing. They're not bad games, it's just more of what you already have. Okay. Alright, let's go back over here and see a Boson X. It's like an... I think it's an end... It's, what's the name of it? An endless runner. Yeah. It's an endless runner. I have nothing else to say about Boson X. So we're going to go ahead and put that in there. Okay. Boson. Now it says Boson, not Bossum. Bossum is what? Bossum is this. That's Bossum. That's not what this is about. It's Boston. I don't know what a Boston is, but it is not a Bossum. I don't see any Bossums in that one. Okay. Anyway, don't play it. Is it? Okay. There we go. Add that in there. Yeah, with it is not Boing Boing X. That is not what it's called. All right, it is a subatomic particle. Okay, that's what that is. Fair enough. That sounds sciencey enough. Let me drink some water. And make sure not to explode you guys' ears off by drinking water. Hey, model, would you like to fix it? Thank you. Okay, apparently, maybe. Let's look that up real quick. Boson. A subatomic particle such as a photon which has zero or integral spin and follows the statistical description given by Essen, Bose and Einstein. So, yeah, it's a particle. It's some science, I tell you what. All right, okay. Let's go back over here. What is the next in line? It is Braid. Didn't this? Isn't there like a There's like a Game of the Year edition, or not a Game of the Year edition, like a remaster of this, isn't there? I'm pretty sure there's a remaster of this game either out or coming out. Let's look that up real quick. Braid. Okay, so it's not out yet, but there's definitely one coming. I know I saw something about like Braid Remastered. It's a thing that does stuff, that's for sure. It's a small boy. Yeah, Braid's protagonist is a very small boy. I remember this game was pretty popular when it came out because it was like it's an early seventh generation indie game that made a fair amount of fuss because first of all, it's got a very good art style. Second, it's actually got some pretty good it's the granddaddy of indie games. It's definitely one of the more popular indie games for its time. I'm looking forward to playing it. Well, modern indie, as far as modern indie games go, this is one of the granddaddy of them. Psychonauts came before this, and that's another indie game. But that's a different story for a different day. Braid. I'm looking forward to playing that one. It seems like it will be a good time. It's very much a puzzle game with a little bit of platforming. Braid. And you know what? I like that description. The granddaddy There's a lot of D's in Granddaddy. Do not take that out of context, please. Oh my god. You say some things and then you realize what you said and it's like, oh. It's definitely a joke. Oh, whatever. I never claimed to be say-so. I never claimed to be say-so, whatever. Alright. Alright. Whatever. Look. Just... Great! Next game in line is Brawlhalla. I don't like Brawlhalla. I played like a little bit of it and I didn't think it was that good. It's that's one for the out of context VTuber Twitter. For sure. For sure. Brawlhalla is it's a Smash clone. It has a lot of characters. It's got like a lot of characters. Original characters. It's not like crossover characters. It's original characters. And they all play the same. Like, when I played, I tried like 10 different characters. And none of them felt different to me. So, I think it's free to play. So you can do that. Did I like spend money on like a character pack or something? I might have. Just out of whatever. Oh, is there like an actual... Okay, maybe if you can add custom characters, it's a little bit more worthwhile. Thank you for clipping that, Sheppy Chefs. I appreciate it. And we've got 2 clips on this stream to share with the VTubing community. That's gonna be fun. Alright. Okay. Brawlhalla. Yeah, it's a Smash clone. Go ahead and put that in there. Brawlhalla. Is that how you spell that? That is in fact how you spell that. I'm feeling lightheaded from that freaking joke. I shook my head too much. Ay. Okay. Well, no, it's not unplayed. It's just... Actually, I think this is an old... I don't even think it has a story mode, so it's like... A Smash clone with a lot of clones. There you go. That's the best way of describing this game. Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and give it like a 2 stars. I know enough of it to give it a rating already. Okay. Anyways, browser. Go back over here. Breath of Dead 7: The Beginning. I mean, there is the beginning subtitle here, but it isn't the beginning subtitle over there. Okay, whatever. Breath of Dead. It is made by the same developer. This one I know for sure. This one I know. I'm not wrong in this. It is made by the same developer that made Cthulhu Saves the World. Yes, Cthulhu Saves the World and Breath of Dead 7 double pack. You know, they got all this Cosmic Star Heroine. I don't actually know of this one. It's got a very positive rating though. There you go. Maybe I'll check that out one day. Penny Arcades on the rail. Is this a Penny Arcade JRPG? Wow. Huh. Anyways, that's an interesting title. It drags on a bit and I couldn't finish it. Fair enough. I know this developers seem to like mainly create joke RPGs. Cthulhu Saves the World being like their most popular title, from what I understand at least. It's it is games that you're not supposed to take seriously. Like, for example, Breath of Dead 7. There aren't 6 other Breath of Dead games that came after it. This is the first and 7th and probably last game in the Breath of Dead series, the 7th one. Resurrected a classic era of RPGs with the retro parody RPG Borderlands 7. The beginning join them the Skeleton Knight, Sarah the Ghost Historian, Lyda the Vampire Tichi, and Eric the Zombie Prince as they explore an undead world in search of the secrets of the past. Laugh, cry, laugh, blah 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 blah. Okay. Maybe it's like Star Wars and it starts at 7. Yes, definitely. That's a timely joke. Okay. Let's go ahead and add that in. Breath of Death 7. The beginning. By the way, I see a lot of people confuse the word breath with breathe. I mean, I guess sudden English stream. Breath is what comes out of your mouth when you do this. That's breath. Breathe is a verb. That's what you do when you intake oxygen. I see a lot of people saying breathe to replace the verb, but there you go. If anyone was ever confused, that's the difference. Breath is the noun, breathe is the verb. I just felt like pointing that out because I see that mistake come up a lot. Alright, anyways, unfinished, unplayed, joke, RPG, maker, game, by joke, RPG, maker, devs, probably. Okay. Alright, there we go. And no rating, because I haven't played it yet. Okay. Next game in line is going to be The Bridge. This is a puzzle game, yes? Yes, it's a puzzle game. I don't have much to say about this one. I just know it's a puzzle game where you probably make bridges. I would imagine that you make bridges to solve the puzzles in The Bridge. I don't know why the SCP Foundation is here. Why are there so many random ass posts in the Steam community tabs? Community content tab, I mean. What's going on there? That's so weird to me, but okay, whatever. I'm not. I haven't researched the it's phenomenal enough. I mean, it's kind of spoiled. Ow! If you know what SCP is. I mean, I know that the SCP Foundation is secure, contained, protected. It's got like the whole thing, with like, you know, basically everything. Every SCP is an item or a person or a creature that exists in the SCP Containment Foundation, and none of them are like real people, so people need to tag their spoilers. Yeah, I know you can actually tag spoilers, so I guess they didn't even think about that. So you know what? We're gonna just go ahead and add that in before we find any more. I should probably try to not click on the community tabs too often. Also, I am getting a scam call right now. Can you stop? I'm trying to stream. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. The Bridge. Steam. A puzzle game. There you go. Okay, perfect. Add that in. There's probably a lot of puzzle games in my collection because that's just a popular genre for like indie games, especially back in the day when they were still kind of they didn't have the power to make like super high like mobility big world action games or platforms and stuff. Yeah, a lot of puzzle games from like the late 2000s to early 2010s and maybe to mid 2010s as well are puzzle games, and even today there's still a lot of them that are just puzzle games. But you know, they're starting to expand into other genres now that are more action heavy. Which does not to say that puzzle games are bad. No, they're not. It's just, you know, there's that like reputation that like if you want very action-packed games, you have to go to like the AAA stuff, and then indie games are all just like much more methodical, puzzle, thought-provoking. But now we're getting variety in the indie game scene, so that you don't even have to worry about going to the AAA department anymore, which is good news in my eyes. It's great. I like that. Okay. Next game in line is another bridge game. Bridge Constructor Medieval. Now in this one, for sure you make bridges. You said this was just called the bridge, but in this one you for sure make. This is one's about making bridges, and it is also a puzzle game. I don't know what it is with bridges in indie games, but I guess they really like each other. Okay, well that's really all I can say about that. Bridge Constructor. Is it constructor or construction? Constructor. Okay. No, not the Microsoft thing. Jesus Christ. Okay. Bridge Constructor Medieval. That's how you spell medieval, right? Yeah, that's how you spell medieval. Bridge Constructor Medieval. Yep. I thought I put this in. Hold on. I got a phone call, guys. I'll be right back. Give me a second. Can you stop? Thank you. Alright. I feel like the obligatory phone call is just a thing that happens in like every stream. Or at least half of my streams have the phone call. But this time apparently I forgot to put the... No, I do! Hey, I put do not disturb. Why did I get a freaking... Okay, whatever. I thought I had silenced this thing. But I guess this phone like detects when someone that calls you often is calling, so it like doesn't silence the thing. That's really dumb. Okay, whatever. Don't matter. It's okay. Bridge Constructor Medieval. Unplayed. You. I think that's how I spelled the other one, right? Okay, hold on. Let me just double check. Because I need that to like be there. Okay. A puzzle game where you presumably make bridges. A game where you for sure make... Okay, let me just add that in. Hold on. Because I want to have that parallel between the two. A puzzle game where you for sure make bridges. Okay, now we're going to check that out over to Steam. There you go. A puzzle game where you presumably make bridges. A puzzle game where you for sure make bridges. There you go. I love that. That's just such a nice parallel to have right there. Okay. Alright. Anyways, back to this thing. Add game. Browser. We're gonna close that. Look, we're almost at the end of the B. There will be no more B in 2 more games. Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. I played this game. It's a feel strip. Oh man, I'm not even gonna click on the community tab of that because therefore there's gonna be some spoiler in there, and I want you guys to experience this by yourselves. I mean, I could stream it. Yeah, I might probably even will, but if you have the chance to play this game on your own, play it. It is an excellent game, and part of why I really wanted to play this game as well is I'm not sure if you guys, isn't it best as it's actually not a co-op game. you would think that because it's a game where you control two brothers at the same time, it would be a co-op experience, but it is not. It is a single-player game where you use both analog sticks or whatever the conversion is on the keyboard to control both brothers at the same time. And that's one of the best uses I've ever seen of gameplay. Gameplay being used to immerse the player into the story, because you have to keep track of both brothers at the same time. And it's so good. I beat it in under 4 hours. It says right there, total playtime 3.8 hours. One sitting. You just need one afternoon to play this. Do it. It's so good. It's a very much a story-driven game. It's got some puzzles, obviously. Just if you want a personal recommendation from me for a short but very well made story-driven indie game, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons is gonna be exactly what you're looking for. And big part of why I really wanted to play this game is because of Total Biscuit. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Total Biscuit, but he was. Unfortunately, he is no longer with us. He passed away due to cancer, I want to say 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. It wasn't that long ago. But he was a huge advocate for indie games. And he wanted to always highlight indie games and, talk about them. He was one of the first people that really introduced me to talking about games as more than just a fun video game where you shoot man and bad guys and people. No, he was one of the first content creators that really introduced me to thinking about games critically, thinking about games from a game design perspective, from looking at them in a much more much more mature way of looking at them. And Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, Total Biscuit actually mentioned this as being his favorite game of all time when he played it. Previously, it was Deus Ex, the very first Deus Ex game. But after playing this, he mentioned that because of how excellently this game utilizes the power of games, true gameplay, to tell a story, just that implementation alone was enough for him to consider this his favorite game of all time. And I played this game after Total Biscuit passed away. Shortly after Total Biscuit passed, I think I played this game. What really brought me into actually playing it is because of Total Biscuit's passing, so that I could see what he was talking about with it. And yeah, it's if I did it for Total Biscuit, and then now I'm doing it for you. Please play this game. It's fantastic. It is incredible. It is so good. Just do it. Just do it. And get a box of tissues too. You're gonna need it because you're gonna cry. That's all I can really say about it. But you're gonna cry unless you're heartless. Okay, but let's go ahead and add that in. I'm not gonna say anything else about it because I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. So just please play Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. Alright. Steam. It is available on Steam, but also on like PlayStation 4, on Xbox One, and therefore Xbox Series S as well. Pretty sure it's on Switch. It's pretty much available on all modern hardware as far as I'm aware. So just go ahead. I haven't completed it. There's some achievements that I have to go back and get, but that's okay. The main experience is what we're really here for. And let me just check how many achievements I have. I have 3 out of 12. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff that you have to go out of your way to find. But 3 out of 12. Yeah, go ahead and put it in our total biscuit delay total. Okay, and I forgot to actually go back and rate it. Hold on, let me go back and actually pull the score on it. Hold on. Well, they have 2 sons, blah blah blah. 5 stars, easy. That is a very easy 5 stars. That is just I'm going to start crying if I keep talking about how much I like this game. So let's just move on. Bully Scholarship Edition. Last game on the B category, by the way. It is this is my favorite game by Rockstar Games. I played this back on the PlayStation 2, and I played it a lot back on the PlayStation 2. I beat it despite being a fairly lengthy game. Like, you know, we're talking about like a 30-ish hour campaign here. Despite that, I beat this game multiple times. And there were also often times where I would just, you know, in my finished game save file, every mission done, every collectible collected, everything done, I would still just boot up the game and mess around. Just like you could in Grand Theft Auto and, you know, all those other open world games of back in the day. Bully was the game for me. I just really liked going around. The relatively, much smaller world than Grand Theft Auto, but still very much, it's just a very fun game to mess around with. I still think this is Rockstar Games' best game. I haven't played some of their newer stuff like Red Dead Redemption 2 or Grand Theft Auto 5, which they've re-released. They haven't made a new Grand Theft Auto game in several years, which is depressing. And I don't like that Grand Theft Auto 5 has all of those like microtransactions in Grand Theft Auto Online. And I also don't like some of the stuff that Rockstar Games has been accused of. Apparently their work environment is extremely toxic. This mainly comes from the heads at Rockstar. Like in an ironic twist, the co-founders and the people that run Rockstar Games act themselves like Grand Theft Auto characters, with like growing like very like uncomfortably crazy parties with drugs and like prostitutes and a lot of drinking and all kinds of terrible shit, basically. Well, I'm not sure about the drugs part, but for sure they throw some very wild parties that are a little bit more than their employees could realistically handle. So yeah, again, in an ironic twist of fate, the people that run the company that creates the Grand Theft Auto games act themselves like Grand Theft Auto characters. Very unfortunate. But again, just like with Borderlands, the shittiness of the people running the company should not diminish the hard work that went into making the game from those who were actually in the development department and not the ones bossing the people around. The actual developers and the game that they created. Fantastic. Bully Scholarship Edition, my favorite Rockstar game. One of my favorite, what's the name of it? Open world sandbox games. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, I'll definitely do a playthrough of that one day. I know there's a 60 frames per second mod that you can also add to it, but it like breaks the physics. So I'd have to see if it has been improved or fixed a little bit. But we'll have to see. Okay, Blood's Tale of Two Sons added successfully, and now Bully Scholarship Edition. Now the Scholarship Edition is the version that was released on everything except the PlayStation 2. So the original PlayStation 2 version which is to say that the game originally came out as a PlayStation 2 exclusive, and then it got ported to the Wii, the Xbox 360, and and Steam as the Scholarship Edition. And this Scholarship Edition adds like a couple of missions, and that's pretty much it. It just adds a couple of missions. There's nothing else particularly substantial about this version. The original PS2 version is still pretty beefy with content. And you can get the Bully on PS3 and PS4, but it's sold as a PS2 version, like the PS2 version. So on PS3 it's just the regular PS2 version, and on PS4 it's like the PS2 on PS4 enhanced HD edition. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong about that. Let's look that up. Bully PS4. Yeah, you can buy Bully on PS4. It's the PS2 version that just has been upscaled to look HD, but it's still the PS2 version, so it doesn't have the content of the Scholarship Edition. I know in Europe, in PAL regions, the game is called Canis Canem Edit. That is Latin for dog eat dog, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken, I don't know, but pretty sure that's what it's called. And yeah, great game. Awesome. This is completed. Yeah, this isn't beaten. This is like full on. Got the thing, and okay. Gonna go ahead and add that in as I did like crazy. Alright. And yeah, that's also a 5 stars, so we're gonna go ahead and add. Oh, then sorry, I didn't mean to add 0, I just meant to add nothing. Okay. Now let's see if that change anything over here. I didn't like erase Brothers and Delves or something, did I? It did! What? Ow! That erased Brothers A Tale of Two Sons for some reason. Okay. Fine, I'll add it again. I don't know how that happened or why that happened, but Tale of Two Sons. Thankfully, all of this stuff is like automatically saved over here. Yeah, this one's again 3 out of 12. And there we go. Now let's make sure that did add in correctly this time. Okay, yeah. Now there's Brothers and there's Bully. I don't know why that happened. That's probably because I was editing Brothers A Tale of Two Sons instead of like adding a new game. But all right, an hour and 56. I guess we could actually end the stream here because that officially concludes every game on the B category. Yeah, because the next game is Caster, so we could start the next. Yeah, that sounds alright. Yeah, because the next time we do this, we can start fresh on the letter C, instead of just awkwardly starting the letter C now and then immediately ending the stream afterwards. But I'm surprised at how many games there were with the letter B. Like, God, that's a lot of games that start with the letter B. Jesus. I had no idea. Let me check. Let me just see how many games there are with C. Is there just as many? Not quite as many, but there's still a decent amount of games that start with the letter C. All right, yeah, we'll go ahead and start with the letter C the next time we do a Backloggery cataloging. Guess that's it for me tonight, today, this morning. At this time of day, we are done with the stream. Thank you guys for joining. Hopefully by next week I will have finished. I haven't even started it. I will have prepared the thumbnail for the next game that I plan on streaming. And we will also continue the Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. That's going to be on... Yeah, Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus is going to be on Thursdays. And then the next game is going to be on Fridays. Thanks for streaming. I appreciate you guys dropping by. Always good to have some company on this. Always good to have somebody listen to me ranting about video games. Because I love ranting about video games. I do it all the time. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. And remember, E3 is coming. Oh, and something I forgot to mention. I'm not sure if I mentioned it on yesterday's stream, but I'll mention it again. Not only is E3 happening early on June, there's also that like Geoff Keighley show that's like not E3 but basically E3. I would like to do live reactions to them, but obviously it all depends on how well it lines up with my work schedule. So I'll see how I figure that out. But definitely I want to discuss the announcements that will be announced. But yeah, other than that, catch you guys on the next one. Catch you on the next one as well, Jack Rabbit. And yeah, have a good rest of your day. Have a good rest of your night. Have an awesome weekend. Have an awesome everything. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.